Alrighty, dual battery setup. So we're gonna have to find a way to mount this box under the tray over here. So it's gonna go right around there. Then we've got our positive feed from the alternator / battery, a smart controller to turn on when the battery is over a certain voltage. This will engage, putting power all the way back to the battery. When it's below a certain voltage, it cuts off, which means your crank battery always has crank. A fuse, just in case we get a surge. Earth for the dual battery, might not be long enough, we'll figure that out when we get there. And this box here I've just made up, so it's a PVC junction box, 5 switches. These 3 switches here go to these 3 Anderson plugs, so they can be used for anything. These 2 here go to these 2 wires on the side, and they will be lights. So one will go up on the top left, one will go up on the top right. I'll make a little mount for those. USB, charge phones and stuff. And then we got a 12-volt fridge. Well, I'm going to use it for fridge, but a socket for what are they called? Cigarette plugs. And then we got a isolator switch rated up to 300 amps. So that turns everything on and off, so that's not always drawing power. Let's get cracking. So first up, we're going to mount the hard stuff. So I'm going to have to pull this mount off up here, get rid of that completely. I'm going to have to cut all these tabs off, and so I have room to actually mount the box. And then I'm probably going to have to make some sort of bracing up here going across to here. I'm even thinking about using that top mount as one of the mounts for the box, having another one down here, and then maybe even just up into here. That could be enough, but we'll see when we get there. Alrighty, so I've cut off this support, which used to go from here to up here. Done a pretty rough job because it was hard to get the grinder in on the right angle, so this is all mostly going to be hidden anyway. Not too worried about like little finishes like that. Yeah, it's a pretty rough tray anyway, but yeah, that's done. So now I'm just putting the box in. Alrighty, so here's the plan. I've actually removed that altogether, and this edge is going to act as the new guard. So it'll mount up there and onto here, weld a little plate up onto there. Yeah, should be pretty cool. Alrighty, so I've just cut, so I'm reusing as much as I can, so I've just cut the corner pieces off the bit just to mount to the guard. I've just made up these little brackets. So, I mean, they're pretty shabby, but what they'll do is they'll allow me to mount to the back of the box in a couple of spots. So I'll go something like that, and then the front will be mounted on there. 1, 2, 3, where the old guard used to mount. So these 2 will go up on there, like that, and I'll weld them in. And they should be pretty sweet. Alright, there's the first little mount. So it's welded up there, welded on the backs. Doesn't need a shit ton. So yeah, it's got 2 welds down the sides and 2 welds on the backs, and I'll level up across to this back. Do the same thing on the other mount. There we go. So just going to use the magnetic block to level so they're sitting at the same height, and then yeah, a few tacks and then full welds. That'll be the back mount. Pretty good. Thinking about putting some metal through here to kind of act like it's a big washer, so they can hold the weight a bit better. But yeah, that's how that's going to mount at the back. Once more, that's how it's going to mount at the front. Alright, there she is. It's nothing crazy special. Another backyard weld special, but it'll do what I need. Primed up. There we go, so now she's black. So back mount all finished up. Been a little bit overspray, but that's what I'm all about. And then that's where the front mount will be. So time to start figuring all the holes out. Alrighty. So there is the front mounted. So that's what it's going to look like. Pretty tidy. Now I just got to do these top ones. I've left enough gap in here to get a strap still. Laughing. Alright, there it is. So all 7 mounting spots. So we've got 4 up there and then 3 up there. So she's solid. Lovely. Yeah. So now we're going to start doing some logistical stuff. So figuring out where the other stuff's going to sit. And depending on how much time I have today, I'll probably mount the box to the other side too. Alrighty, power time. So we got the box mounted, just moved inside, get out of the sun a bit. So we're going to put that red line running from here. It's going to come back into here, where I'm going to put a little plate that'll have the fuse, which will go into the smart controller, and then down through the back of the chassis out towards the box that we've just installed. Alrighty, so this is what I made so far. So this is a little bracket mounts near the water reservoir for the windshield wipers. That'll go to the battery. This here goes to the other side of that fuse, and then this one goes all the way back to the dual battery. So you won't be able to see this in a sec, but I just wanted to show this before I put it all in. Alrighty, so there's the bracket that I made. So it sits just flush of this. This can still come out. It mounts in there. Also steals an earth for the smart controller, which is under here. Fuse is here. Battery, that'll go to there. And then from underneath here, that's where my power run all the way to the back of the vehicle into that toolbox that we installed originally back there. Alrighty, so crimped heat shrink, so that will go on there. Nothing happens, so that's good. I guess doesn't pop the fuse or anything. So yeah, that'll go on there just under that screw. And then that's all set up here. So now I can start running back with this here. This run from the front to the back, going up over the fuel tank, and I'll use that cross member up there to come across to the box. Alrighty, so she runs up there, goes into a conduit, conduit pipe, and then she goes all the way back into the box over there. So she runs within a couple of inches of the exhaust up here. Hang on, sorry about the camera angle. Yeah, so hopefully she doesn't get hot, we'll find out. So I got that cord ran, you can just see it going up there in the conduit. Runs into the back of the box in there, avoids everything that's going to probably hurt it. I mean, those leaf springs do go up, but I think it'll be okay where it is. And then, didn't manage to get this on video, I kind of went into work mode yesterday, Harvey. I've got the battery mounted, and I've just made up this little bracket, and then I've used like those like stock mounting. I'm probably going to put a little 10mm nut on there so I can crank her right down. Like, she's super solid. So I got my positive coming in there, go to there, I'll silicon up that back hole. Then I've got my earth, which runs up onto that bolt up there. And that's earth, so I did a test where I put my multimeter on there and then the bolts over here and stuff. Oops, sorry about all the cars, but yeah, she works, so it's earthed correctly, so that's everything done. Now, time to move on to this stuff. So just a little recap, our positive goes from the positive terminal up into our 100 amp fuse, which goes down into our smart controller isolator, which then goes down underneath the vehicle all the way through, gets to the tank here, where it goes across, you can just see it in there, where it goes across this cross member to get to the other side of the vehicle, and it goes underneath the tray into the box, and then comes out here. I had a bit excess, so it just tangles up in there, goes around into the positive terminal on the dual battery. The earth for the dual battery is going straight up into the mounting bracket, and then to make this, I've just cut some holes underneath, and you can see they just slip under there, threaded on the top, and there's currently wing nuts. I'm only going to leave a wing nut on that far side, and then I'm going to put a 10mm on this one today, and then use it so I can use a spanner on it to really crank it down. But yeah, I can't move it, like it actually shakes the whole vehicle, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I got all my mounts up, and I use the existing mount for the guard for this side, and then I'm also going to make a little elbow down here to put my mud flap on. I'll do that today too, but that's part one. So the rest, mud flaps, this stuff, some lights on the sides and all that, that's going to be part two and the conclusion of the dual battery setup for this ute. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy this stuff, remember to subscribe. You want to see the rest, remember to just subscribe. Get the dog, fin dog out.